ease in with the close-up magic. Don't open with it. Good morning, BBs.
Good morning, BBs. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan, and we're sitting a little far away from each other.
We're just a little far away from each other. Hold on while I
just
tweet
a little
this.
distant right now. We're just feeling a little distant.
We're feeling a little distant from one another. We're feeling a little Now, what's that going to do to your clothes?
Ruin it.
So maybe we just have to be a little far. I know. I miss you.
What about the wine? The clothes looks fine.
The clothes is fine?
The clothes looks fine.
Close is fine?
Alex confirmed the close is fine. You get in here. You get in here. You get close to me. You also get close to table.
Uh-oh.
The wide's more important. Hi, everyone in the podcast listening that doesn't care about this at all. Good morning to you, too.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, look at us. I wore these tights to cover up that I busted up my knee, and you can still see that, too. Again, I'm so sorry to everybody in the podcast. None of this matters to you.
I wore these pants to cover up my shame.
And that didn't work either.
No, you can still see my shame because my shame is omnipresent. How was your weekend?
My weekend was absolutely bananas. We were filming secret Pixel Circus projects. And all I can say is, hey, Alex, how are you feeling after this weekend?
You know, I'm very sleepy.
Yeah.
But I feel proud. I feel excited, and I feel reluctant to look at my email inbox. So.
Yeah, so we can't wait for that.
Sleepy and proud.
That's the Pixel Circus motto, sleepy and proud. So, we're very excited for you to see what we were filming this weekend. We were working on some special secret Halloween stuff.
Ooh.
But I can't tell you any more than that, other than I am on an average of 2 hours of sleep per night right now.
Well, first of all, congrats, because that's an hour more than you usually get.
Look, that's even low for Saige's. That's even low for me. And this is not a millennial, look how tired I am competition of who works too much the most.
Saige is constantly talking about how she's on a Sigma grind set.
Kind of on a Sigma grind set.
She's sort of like a rise and grind girly, is what she says.
Yeah, I am a rise and grind kind of girly. I do feel like, if you're not doing it, you're just not working hard enough.
That's right. That's right.
That hurt me to say. Anyways, today we are talking about the Spider-Man.
Just 3 years ago, Jeff Bezos
trailer.
was selling phone cards.
Yeah.
And now he owns Amazon.
Yeah. A little boy came up to me on the street once.
Yeah.
And said, "Ma'am, will you buy my phone card?" And I was like, "No, what? Leave me alone. Why are you talking to me?"
And that man,
that little boy,
Bill Gates. That was Bill Gates. I didn't have the exhausting weekend that y'all had.
No, what was your weekend like?
It's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you do this weekend, Anthony?
Well, I mostly played a lot of Spider-Man games, of course. Mm-hmm. We're still doing the Impossible Spider Marathon.
Of course.
On my Twitch channel. But Friday, I went to the Persona 5 Tactica Cafe in Anaheim.
Oh. I saw photos of you and Xander.
Yes, Xander. It was me and Xander and Lisa Wallen and our friend Amaris. And I have photos if you'd like to see the photos.
I would love to. This feels like showing me your vacation photos.
I'd love to show you all some vacation slides.
Yeah.
Can
we see Anthony's vacation slides? Yeah, there we go. We're seeing them.
So this is everybody. This is us in our Persona 5 costumes.
Nice, nice.
I want you to know, Lisa didn't have anything Persona 5, so that's my Shujin Academy jacket.
Nice.
And the cat ears from when we went to see Cats at the Alamo.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. That one time we went to see Cats.
Oh, yeah, the one and only time we saw Cats.
But there we go. They had all kinds of photo stuff set up for Persona 5 Tactica.
Ooh, look at you.
There's us making Skull Joker canon.
Love it.
They were roommates.
Yep.
But it's a cool place. It was at this place, Requiem in Anaheim. Have you ever been?
No.
It's this coffee shop that's set up for board game rentals and all kinds of you can sit in a tree.
Okay.
They have a weird foresty tree house. Those are all the pictures.
Yeah, we can come back to
they have
the
a weird
now.
foresty tree that you can sit in. They have a strange crystal Sailor Moon living room that you can sit in, and they just sell fancy sodas.
Oh.
Fancy sodas and coffees.
Well, that sounds kind of nice.
It was very lovely. I don't know if it was worth a 90-minute drive each way.
Yeah. If you were
But
heading that way anyways, make time.
if you were in Anaheim for any reason,
Well, what could possibly be in Anaheim?
I've heard there's nothing to do in Anaheim.
Not one single big thing in Anaheim.
But if you're there, it's a really cool place to stop by. And we were thinking about it. It's like we have places that are adjacent to that in LA, but you'd think we'd have places that are like that in LA, and we don't.
Here's what I will say. It's very expensive to build things like that.
That's true. That's true.
And it's like Orange County is not a much cheaper place to live. So I'm not going to say it's like a lot cheaper to build something in Anaheim, but there is that. There is the sheer saturation of things in LA.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate that we have a little bit of everything, but yeah.
But I can't sit in a tree cubby.
No, we don't have a rainforest cafe. That's why.
God, I fucking love the rainforest.
The nearest
cafe.
rainforest cafe is in Ontario, California, I believe. It's about an hour from here.
Y'all never had one in Orange County?
We did. We had one on Downtown Disney.
That's what I thought.
We had a rainforest cafe at Downtown Disney, and that one's gone now.
Because the one in Orlando was right outside of, and is still right outside of Disney's Animal Kingdom.
It's still there?
Yeah.
It makes sense to be outside of Animal Kingdom.
Last year, a friend of the show, Eddie Burback, made a video where he went to every rainforest cafe.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get together and like joking about it, but not seriously organizing a group to drive out to the only Southern California rainforest cafe for like 2 years.
I'll go.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Rainforest Cafe.
I also still want to go to that Wizard Hotel in Anaheim.
I'm down. What was that thing called? Oh, we'd have to find it.
Wizard Hotel.
We talked about it on Patreon, I think.
Yeah.
We did a whole video on it, but essentially it was like a role play LARP hotel about wizards
Yeah.
of the non-turf variety
the best kind.
somewhere in like that Anaheim area.
Somewhere.
There's a thing called the Great Wolf Lodge, and I don't think that's it.
That might be it.
Is that it?
That sounds right.
Great
Because-
Wolf Lodge also has like a water park
Yes,
in it.
that's
Is that it?
The name of the magic thing, because the magic thing was a chain of like magic activity places, but they had one in the Great Wolf Lodge. And I think the Great Wolf Lodge is one of the final remaining ones.
So the Great Wolf Lodge is an indoor water park in Anaheim. That's like its primary thing. And I know because my niece and nephew love it. They love this place. They're all about this place. It's an indoor water park. Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah. Well, it's also, I mean, it's one of those places that's very smart because
What are the other-
if you're going to go to Disney for 4 days and you can convince the small children that 3 days of that can be spent at the hotel where it's much cheaper,
Yeah.
that's a great way to be.
I don't see shit about wizards on here, man.
Magic Quest, it's right there. It's the first one.
Those kids are wearing wolf ears. You can see why I
'cause
didn't
they're in
think
the-
they were
'cause
wizards.
they're in the Great Wolf Lodge, but it's Magic Quest.
Yeah, well,
at
you
the
can
Great
see why
Wolf
it
Lodge.
didn't look like it was going to be wizards.
Sure.
Those kids look like
Those kids look, well, they're wolf people. That's kind of magic. Aren't normally wolf people, right?
sure.
That's kind of magical.
All right. Well, I'll ask my niece for a review on it.
Yeah. Did she
See.
do the Magic Quest, do you think?
I don't know. I bet she has. She loves Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah.
It'd be wild to turn down the Magic Quest.
Absolutely wild. But it's easy. It's also easy to hide things from children that you don't want to pay for.
Oh, you make a good point on that.
You know what I mean?
You do make a good point on that.
It's possible that she simply does not know that the magic is an option. And
It's possible that that's the case for all of us in our hearts.
we should all know that magic is an option.
It's possible that maybe we just don't know that magic is an option, and that's
Unless
why we
you're a
can't
straight
access
man
it.
that's trying to do it for pickup artist reasons.
Then it's not an option for
it's
you.
absolutely not an option for that.
You should know it's not an option.
Nobody wants a magician to come up to them randomly.
No. And hey, to the BBs, because I know there's at least one of you here because I know our community and I love you. I really do. Ease in with the close-up magic. Don't open with it.
Don't open with it.
I know there's at least one of you. I know there's at least one BB. There's one.
Look, a lot of people that learn the close-up magic, and I think we've talked about this before, they do it because they are a little nervous socially. They have a little bit of anxiety, and it gives them a good way to walk up to somebody and start a conversation.
I
without
love
having,
that for you. And we have multiple cast members here at the circus that are also close-up magic boys.
Close-up magic boys with a Z. Close-up magic boys in the house.
But, just saying.
Just saying.
Okay, today we are talking about that Spider-Man launch trailer.
Woo!
We are talking about some fun Invincible stuff. We got a trailer for two different Invincible trailers.
That's right. And an announcement. We also got a few things from New York Comic Con. And
we're getting into the Star Wars Minecraft DLC.
Look, a lot of things are happening.
I'm very excited. There's going to be all that and a whole lot more. I suppose we should talk about the news. And everyone, I fell through one of the flats in the studio and I busted up my knee. Everyone say, "Oh no, sorry, Saige."
Oh no. Sorry, Saige.
Here we go.
Oh no, sorry, Saige.
Thank you, Alex.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, my bruise is very oddly on display.
Is everything all right?
No, it hurts.
You have an owie? You want cake pop after the show because you have an owie? Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll go get you do the show like a brave little toaster, and we'll get you a cake pop after the show.
Anthony constantly refers to my cat as a brave little toaster.
It looks like a little chunky toaster.
Is that why?
It's a brave little toaster.
It was because she was brave.
Well, yeah.
Not toaster shaped.
Well, brave and toaster
she
shaped.
She is a little toaster shaped.
She is.
Yeah, you're right.
Wednesday's kind of a brave little toaster.
Wednesday's a little bit toaster shaped, and I will give you that. Anyways, where
the hell did our producer go? He was lying. Yeah, he was lying in his bed and then just disappeared.
He believed in magic.
Whoa.
He just needed to believe that magic was an option.
Does Dagger know close-up magic?
Yeah.
Are those the cops coming to arrest Dagger for knowing close-up magic?
And unfortunately a straight guy. Dagger's unfortunately a straight guy that knows close-up magic.
He truly is. Hey.
It's a loud siren.
Let's discuss the Spidered Man.
Let's do it. Spider-Man 2 comes out on Friday. It will be my annual plugging in of my PlayStation 5.
Wow, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got the launch trailer and we have a review roundup. Launch trailer dropped yesterday. Review embargo lifted this morning just before we went live. So we're very excited to take a look at those. But this trailer,
Okay. Let's watch it.
Pre-trailer
Managing
trailer.
the volume, so everyone bear with us. We're figuring it out.
So this
I need your help. Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself?
This is wild.
Yeah.
This Sandman fight that they show in the beginning. And I think the game opens on this, or that is incredibly close to the opening of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think so. The Venom transformation looks incredible.
Oh, so good.
It looks literally better than any movie that's been out. Like all the little threads of the Venom suit coming together. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a better looking Venom than we've gotten.
We got an updated Mary Jane model. Thank you, Insomniac.
Yeah. Improved upon. Everyone's a little shiny, a little sweaty.
I know I can snap him out of this.
God, Tony Todd as Venom. Whoever was sitting in the office, whoever was sitting in the room and said Tony Todd is Venom, like the fact that that has not been thought of before.
Yeah.
Wild.
Absolutely wild.
Tony Todd is perfect.
This is
the ding dang candy man, Saige.
Yeah.
And he sounds so, every other Venom voice, and I'm going to be on, like, I love a lot of characterizations of Venom.
Yeah.
Including the Tom Hardy one. Like, yeah. I like that weird rom-com between a man and his alien.
I think it's fun.
Yeah. But the performance of Venom is always like, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like it's always somebody has to do the voice.
Yeah.
Tony Todd just has it.
He just sounds like that.
Like the fact that he's the first person to sound like Venom that they hired to be Venom.
Bananas.
Bonkers.
I'm so excited. It really is very interesting that we are getting to a point with video games where we're making movies and video games at the same time about something, and sometimes the video games are a better movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Spider-Man 2018.
Yeah.
The first Spider-Man, PS4 Spider-Man, is the best Peter and Doc Ock story.
Right?
That's ever been told. And I love Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
You know I love Spider-Man 2.
I know that you do.
The power of the sun in the palm of my hand. I fucking love Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man PS4 was such a heartbreaking story of Peter and Otto.
It was.
And it was just perfect. It was just perfect.
So it's very exciting. It's fun to have that immersive medium that feels like a movie, getting to the point where like it looks like one too. Because looking at this, I'm like, oh, this looks like also a really good animated Spider-Man movie. You know,
100%.
Like a really good one.
And something that's wild about that trailer is Venom is not the big bad in the game.
No.
Craven is.
Yeah.
And there's no Craven in that trailer. That's how much there is going on in this game.
Yeah. Sandman, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's very interesting. It's also funny that it's Craven, considering we do have a Craven movie coming.
Yeah. Whoa, corporate synergy.
Whoa.
Who would have thought?
Here's the thing, though.
D-me.
It doesn't look like they made a good Craven movie.
No, they didn't. They made a Sony Pictures Presents Craven the movie.
Yeah. So, like, think of how big Craven could have been as a movie following this game.
Hey,
If they had made like a really good Craven the Hunter game.
Aaron Taylor Johnson, I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry you're not gonna be this generation's Craven. I'm sorry that the Spider-Man PS5 Craven is gonna be this generation's
100%.
Craven.
We talked about the trailer a while ago when it dropped, and then I completely forgot it existed. I genuinely just deleted everything about it from my brain, and I was walking through a movie theater the other day and went, oh, that's right, they're making that Craven movie.
It's all leading up to Madam Web, baby. It's all leading up to Madam Web.
This is my end game. Madam Web is my end game. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Thank you, Insomniac, for existing in this
the
dark
Infinity
time.
War to my end game. Thank you very much.
The game comes out on Friday, and oh my stars. I mean, technically Thursday at midnight.
Right.
Wait,
Thursday at midnight or Friday at midnight?
Friday at midnight.
Yeah, Thursday night. But it's Friday at midnight.
You know what we're saying.
Yeah.
You know what we mean.
Yeah.
And the review roundups
Oh my God.
just came out. This game is getting during the Spider Marathon. I've had a lot of people asking me what I think Spider-Man 2 are they going to drop the ball on Spider-Man 2?
No way.
People were worried. They were like, I'm just nervous that Insomniac's going to drop the ball.
Why? Did you not play Miles Morales?
Yeah, it turns out they're only getting better at this.
Turns out all of their games are incredible and they built a fantastic model to work on.
I don't know. I think people just get so worried about franchises.
And people get scared when they really like something.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's a little bit of a prize to make something that is so beloved that people are like, well, how could you ever make something better?
Yeah. Well, the answer is this is really only, I mean, Miles Morales was like a 15-hour experience that they basically could have just released Spider-Man Remastered for the PS5. They could have done that to test their new engine. The fact that they added Miles and did a full Miles game in between, number one, that's huge. But number two, like people that were worried about the quick turnaround of this game, forget that Miles Morales was mostly a technical test for Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
They found a way to use the engine and the assets that they were building already to make this huge game and turn it around so quickly. So I don't think there's anything to be worried about. Plus, Insomniac just loves Spider-Man. You can tell.
Oh, they love it.
They've never gotten anything so much more. There's never been a better pairing of studio to IP, I think. There were a couple things in the first Spider-Man that didn't 100% resonate with me. I did not fill out all my gadgets.
No.
That's
fine.
You know what I mean? Like Insomniac loves gadgets and gizmos, which is why they're good for like a science Spider-Man. But here's what I'll tell you. You don't need those gadgets and gizmos, and I did not fully upgrade them. Well, I did eventually because I wanted to unlock everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't pay attention to it. I got like 2/3 of the way through the game and I was like, oh shit, right, I can upgrade these web gadgets.
But it's nice to know that it's not something that's cumbersome that you feel like you had to all the way. It's like, oh, I could progress without it. You were able to progress without it, and that's good.
And then also the little science puzzles.
Yeah. Didn't hit for you?
Little science puzzles, line up the DNA lines and all that stuff. Like, there was a little too much of that. And I like that Miles Morales cut all that stuff out.
I do enjoy that a little bit.
A little bit, but there was a lot.
Yeah.
They went heavy on it.
That's great about Spider-Man and Miles Morales. But
Yeah.
let's talk about the reviews of Spider-Man 2.
Right. So that's the thing is like they can only have gone up, right?
So, first up, we have GameSpot with an 8 out of 10, saying, all in all, Marvel's Spider-Man 2 may largely give us more of what we've played in Insomniac's previous Spider-Man games, but that winning formula is still so damn fun that it doesn't really matter. It's very interesting because like it seems like their only criticism of it is that the gameplay is very similar to the first game.
Sure.
It's a sequel.
Great. More Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Love it.
They say that the story is gripping, the narratives are great, the characters are excellent, the villains are great, but only gave it an 8 out of 10, which is interesting.
Yeah. IGN also went 8 out of 10. They said Spider-Man 2 is both blessed and cursed. They're elegantly walking the tightrope between light humor and heavier themes. Meanwhile, Insomniac refines a successful formula of combat and web swinging without revolutionizing either in major ways. So I think those are the two kind of lower end reviews, and those are 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I think they're saying the same, like, there were a couple of reviews that said the same thing about Tears of the Kingdom, right? Where they were like, it's Breath of the Wild, and they added new stuff.
And we were like, thank you,
Like,
Nintendo.
yeah, we were like,
we love
Dianu.
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that.
Game Informer on the other end gave it a 9.5 out of 10. And they said, Insomniac has nailed that rarest of video game development feats. They landed a trilogy of games that all stand strong on their own merits, but unite into a sweeping saga made better by experiencing its entirety. Love that.
Yeah.
Love
excellent.
that.
VGC gave it a 5 out of 5, said Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is an incredibly confident sequel and one of 2023's best games. Incredibly fun to play, fast-paced, full of heart, and takes the best of Spider-Man lore and the best of Insomniac's penchant for excellent gameplay sequences.
Yeah. I mean, we got Games Radar 5 out of 5, VG 24/7 5 out of 5. Forbes gave it an 8.5 out of 10. Sure. Gaming Bible.
Forbes is in here. How interesting.
Forbes is in here.
Forbes is reviewing games?
Oh, Forbes has been reviewing games for a while.
I just don't read game reviews by Forbes.
No, but they have like a pretty large gaming section. Schreier's over there now, you know, so they've tried to like bolster all that.
Gaming Bible with the 9 out of 10. So all in all, we're seeing very, very high reviews for this. Friend of the show, Greg Miller, posted the
Did he
kind
give
of
it
fun
another
review.
Greg Miller 13 out of 7 or whatever the fuck he does? Hey, Greg Miller, it's 10 out of 10 for a reason. Don't be cute.
All he said in this tweet, there is a full review on the Kind of Funny channel that says, when's the last time everyone on the Kind of Funny Games cast platinumed the game we're reviewing?
Wow.
Spider-Man 2 is a delight and my new game of the year.
Wow.
Strong review from Greg. He loves it.
Yeah, but he got paid off. He was putting putting Spider-Man as shirtless Spider-Man. He's been paid off by Insomniac.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
probably what it is.
That's graft. That's graft and corruption in games journalism.
I think it's great.
I don't trust Greg Miller as far as I can throw him.
I am very comforted by the reviews here. I'm very comforted by what the criticisms are. When people are like, oh, it's so familiar. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much. Oh my God, I was so worried.
Yeah, we don't need every single game to be revolutionary. I don't know where that came from. It's sort of like when new phones and cameras come out, like we yearn for new and revolutionary things, but hey, this is not going to happen every time. You don't need to.
I also think that there's actually no winning with that because as much as people yearn for a revolutionary thing, they do and they don't. Because if it was too different, all the reviews would be like, they lost what we loved about the first game.
Absolutely.
You were making a sequel. Why didn't you make it? Like, it was so easy. You had this thing that we loved. Why didn't you just make more of that?
Mm-hmm.
And then if people do more of the thing they love, they're like, well, I mean, I loved the first one and I'm loving playing this, but I've played something I love like this before. So there's no winning on anything.
Baby,
Obviously,
there are 900 Mario games.
Yeah.
and they're all great.
There's always going to be criticism of every game, but sometimes it's about looking at the criticism and being like, is that a thing that I'm going to be okay with and enjoy? And that's very much a thing I'm okay with and enjoy for this game.
When Miles Morales came out, I was like, great. It's mechanically similar enough to the first one. Miles has some cool new stuff that he can do.
Yeah.
This is perfect. You know, it's on the it's PS5 first. So it looks even better. This is great. Just give me more and make it a little better, and I'm the happiest boy on earth, especially when it comes to the Spidered Man.
Dude with 6 cats said, yo, hello everyone. I rarely catch a stream of them in the same room. You love to see it. It's too early. Is always in the same room.
That's right.
So we're glad that you're here. Maybe came over from Screencast, I'm guessing, because I was like, what do we do remotely?
The
only thing that you and I do remotely, other than the 2 weeks of shows when you got hit by a truck, is the Kind of Funny Screencast.
I like to think that the truck and I hit each other. You know that. I like to think that the truck walked away just as injured as I did.
Yeah, but according to the incident report and the fact that they have to pay for it, you
I don't
should probably
trust the
say
police.
that we don't trust the police.
I don't trust the police.
Clear.
You're going to trust a police report?
No.
Over me?
No.
Your friend who beat up a truck once?
You did.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
And now we're always in the same room. But you guys are kind of funny. I knew it. I just spotted it when I saw that. I was like, oh, if you're used to seeing us remote, it's got to be kind of funny. Well, welcome in.
Welcome in.
We love friends of Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
And we're glad that you're here. And we do the show in the same room Monday, Wednesday, and Friday every week. So check it out.
Tuesday and Thursday, we just sit here in the same room, but we don't broadcast it. We just sit quietly.
Yeah, we don't talk to each other either. We call that burning cast. We save it.
Yeah.
We save it for Monday, Wednesday, and
Don't
Friday.
burn cast.
We cannot talk in between.
No. If anything happens, I'm like, I should tell my friend Saige. Oh, on Wednesday.
There you go.
When we're on camera.
Save it.
So Spider-Man 2 is coming, and we are very, very excited. It's gonna, I'm so hype.
It's so exciting.
I'm so hype.
It's so wonderful. It's so exciting.
It's all been leading up to this. I'm gonna spend all day Friday playing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously gonna come here and do the show. Obviously, I'm definitely coming and doing the show on Friday.
When you say it like that, it kind of sounds like you're not going to.
Oh my gosh, that's weird. Just a little bit of a I'm sure it's nothing. I'll definitely be here on Friday.
Now. We have a show before then. We have Wednesday.
Yeah, no, I'm good. But I cannot wait to play it. But, there was more comic book stuff going on.
Oh, yeah?
There was more Marvel stuff going on.
Oh, goodness.
There was New York Comic Con over the weekend.
There was New York Comic Con over the weekend. I consistently I've never considered going to New York Comic Con. And then the week before New York Comic Con, I always get a bunch of messages that are like, are you going? And I'm like,
it's a thing. It's a real thing. It's huge. It's at the Javits. It's a real show.
Massive. But I've never once been like, should I put that on my roster this year? And I don't know why, because every year people message me and ask if I'm going.
I used to go when I lived in New York.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger and bigger since then. But yeah, there are huge announcements and things that go down at New York Comic Con. One of the things was at the Skybound panel. There was a lot of Invincible talk because it is, of course, the 10th anniversary of Invincible, the comic book.
Yeah.
And so a lot of stuff has been happening. A lot of stuff's coming out. One of the things that happened is they showed off a new Invincible Season 2 trailer.
Very exciting. We actually haven't watched this one yet. So we're going to do it live. And if it mutes us because there's like surprise music or something, oopsie, sorry.
Oopsie.
Oh, we're sorry.
We're so sorry.
We're sorry.
We're so sorry.
We're gonna
Amazon,
watch it on Twitter
be better.
on my laptop, Alex. Okay.
All we can say is Amazon, be better.
It's their show.
It's their show. Just be
Don't
better.
mute us. We're promoting your show.
When I was a kid, I always wanted to be my dad. What if that
I'm like
happens?
emotionally preparing for the show again.
What if I
Oh my
become
gosh.
him and I don't even
I
know
was,
it?
when the first season came out
You
and
need to
people
do
were
more.
not
I
familiar
can
with
save
Invincible,
lives.
I sat like this,
Put me back out there.
just waiting for that reveal.
I had heard it was intense,
isn't
but like
like
nothing
other
compared to
Viltrumites.
season one.
He's
I mean,
a good guy.
it's a Mark Miller joint, so I did the same thing that
save the
everybody
world,
did during,
Invincible.
that I did during
You're
The
way too
Walking
good for
Dead when
me.
it first came out.
Yeah.
Where I was like, just
Who
wait.
are you? I call me the Shapesmith.
There's an infinite number of dimensions, and I was born with the ability
I am
to
excited to see it
access
follow
all
more of.
Shut it down,
Yes.
or I take it down.
I mean,
Make us.
the Omni-Man,
No
the Omni-Man reveal is
idea how much
obviously
I
the
wanted you
biggest
to say
thing in the
that.
first arc.
Exactly.
But there's a lot of
Well, you know what I mean? Like, the series is,
Your
I
powers
would
don't
say,
make you a hero.
season
They
one is
make
Omni-Man
you
season.
dangerous.
this trailer tells us this is more actually about Invincible, which I am
Make
looking
him
forward
pay
to.
for what he did to your
it
world.
gets bonkers.
The last 20 years of
Like
my
it's
life
one of
have
those
been a
things where
lie.
it's
You want this back?
you read the
Come
first
and
arc of the
get it.
comic
Uh-huh.
and you go,
Choice,
how do you get better from here?
Yeah.
I need revenge.
And it's like, oh no, it does. It gets even wilder from there.
Arrogant, just like your father.
This came out. What did season 2? Season 1 come out.
The
I can't
more
speak.
you
couple years
resist,
back.
the
2020?
worse
2020,
this
I want to
gets.
say
I think
maybe.
it was 2020. What a brutal time to watch Invincible.
Yeah, we've
If
been
you think you can stop
we've been waiting
us,
for a little while.
Don't forget, I'm
That's a good trailer.
It is a good trailer.
That's a really good trailer. That is coming November 3rd, which is creeping up towards us so quickly.
So quickly.
November 3rd is soon?
It's sooner than it was yesterday. I'll tell you
It's
that much.
almost Halloween, Anthony.
I know.
Today is the 16th of October.
We're 15 days out.
Do you know what you're going to be for Halloween yet?
Yes.
Not going to say it. Is it a surprise?
I mean, it's not like a surprise, but I don't want to like,
Well, no reveal yet.
no reveal, but yeah,
Okay.
it's not like a big, it's
We're not
like
allowed to talk in between shows, so I won't find out until he's allowed to say it on the show.
It's not like a big clever thing or anything. It's just like, I'm not going to say
keep your
so
secrets.
early. I'm not going to say
Keep your
so
secrets.
early.
Whoa, like too early? You can get a hat that says it's too early on it on our merch store, pixelcircus.store.
.store.
I was going to say shop.
Pixelcircus.store.
I think we should get that domain.
Are you drunk? You're drunk right now. Pixelcircus.store.com.
Well, because I was like, okay, pixelcircus.party. Okay, next, pixelcircus.shop store. It's got to be .store.
It's got to be .store. And if it's not, it's .shop.
And I'm honestly at least 65% sure that our merch is available at pixelcircus.store. Was I right? Oh, thank you, Alex. You can get a beanie that says it's too early on it and other things that say it's too early on it, like our little mugs.
Other things that happened at the Skybound Invincible anniversary. We got the first look at Omni-Man in MK1.
Which, that's such a good fit.
It really is.
That is the collab.
That is the collab. It wants me to sign into YouTube because it's so graphic.
It's okay. I'll watch it.
It's so graphic.
I'm going to mute this one.
I'm worried though.
We're just going to play the B-roll of this
I'm just
one.
I'm a little baby. I can't watch this.
You are unfortunately only a baby is the problem.
Omni-Man, it really is a perfect fit.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's really, really cool.
J.K. Simmons is in the game, voicing Omni-Man.
Yeah. Dude, one time I got into an elevator and there was a man with a big fedora hat on.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this hat's taking up a lot of room in the elevator. And then I looked over and it was J.K. Simmons wearing that big fedora.
That's right. He's earned it.
Just like a very wide brimmed.
J. Jonah Jameson has earned that giant fedora.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Brutal.
This is wild.
Incredible.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
That's enough.
That's an Omni-Man.
It's very interesting because like Anthony and I, we talk about Mortal Kombat on the show a lot.
Yeah.
And you play.
Yeah, it's not my favorite fighting
Yeah.
franchise, but yeah, I've played some Mortal Kombat.
It's so fascinating because like I loved Mortal Kombat as a kid.
Yeah.
And like trying to explain to child me that I don't play Mortal Kombat now would be so upsetting. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like,
Well, trying to explain empathy to a child is tough.
yeah. Well, it's also though, like as graphics of, it's two things. Two
Yeah.
things happened simultaneously. I became much more sensitive.
Yes.
And Mortal Kombat graphics got a lot more realistic.
yes.
And the two of those things combined made Mortal Kombat not a great fit for me.
Yeah, even as a kid, I was never into the intense blood. Like you couldn't sell me on something based on blood and gore. Because
no.
I think we've talked about this. My parents let me start watching like horror movies and stuff at a very, very early age. Like 4 years old. So horror, like gore and like body horror and stuff like that were never enough of a sell to me.
Right.
And I was always like, yeah, Mortal Kombat's cool, but it doesn't play as well as like Street Fighter or King of Fighters. So I was
think-
always like, this play is awkwardly, and the reward is the gore. And so it
Right.
never became my favorite thing.
Mortal Kombat was the only fighting game that we had at home because I had Mortal Kombat 3 for the N64. And here's the difference of what gore looked like on Mortal Kombat 3 on the N64.
Stop. It's too much.
So,
No.
it wasn't quite, didn't
Look at
quite give me these feelings.
Look at all the blood.
Oh no, blood.
Look at all the blood.
Oh no, there's blood.
Look at all the blood.
It's different.
Something else that was announced at the panel is the Adam Eve game. Invincible presents Adam Eve, coming to Steam from Terrible Posture Games.
Do we know anything about the game?
It's kind of like adventure game.
Kind of like
It's
pause
like
adventure game.
kind of like adventure game. Like if you look here, it's like.
It's very comic booky.
Yeah, you're doing conversations. It's turn-based for the battles.
Interesting.
So you get-
Turn-based.
Yeah. It's got animated comic book cutscenes. It's very interesting. It's definitely like,
It looks a little, can I be honest, Anthony?
yeah.
Looks a little low budge.
I mean, it's not a big budge game.
It's looking a little low budge.
It's not like a AAA big budge game. But if you think about it in terms of like being a conversation, dating sim, sort of that sort of thing, it's pretty high budge for that sort of
She's
genre.
a whole superhero. It's a very low budge superhero game.
Sure.
Very low budge superhero
I mean,
game.
look, I think it's cool.
Okay.
I think it's cool that we're getting it,
Yeah.
you know? But yeah, no, this is not a $60 AAA. This is more like visual novel with combat.
Yeah. Which I hope it's fun. I'd enjoy that. I want to be clear. I love visual novels, and a visual novel with combat, played many of them, love them, super, super fun. So I'm not insulting this genre of game. It's just so interesting because we don't see like good low budget superhero games.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh, did we make a really cool, interesting game that's something different and not just default to it being like an action fighting game? Or did we low budge the woman-led game? You know, we're
Yeah.
gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
I think it looks pretty good. We do know that, of course, they're working on a big Invincible game. That's something that's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to find that Adam Eve is playable for a large portion of that game, if not the entire thing.
Would be cool if she was.
It would be cool.
I don't know.
But I think I think we have to also let these large licenses have smaller games too, and clever
Absolutely.
games.
Yeah.
You know, I think of it like when Mike Bithell got to make the John Wick game, and the John Wick game came out way more creative and way more interesting than it would have if like Ubisoft had gotten to make the
Yeah.
John Wick game.
Yeah, I'm
and
with
so
you on that.
hopefully it's something like that.
I hope it's great. It looks fun. I really enjoy this genre. So I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm down with it. Continuing in comic books / New York Comic Con news. Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, the Ultimates are back. This was very interesting. Marvel announced it with an animated trailer yesterday.
Is that out or was that a New York Comic Con exclusive?
It's out. It's out. Yeah.
Not in the article.
Well, it's
Oh,
somewhere.
interesting.
It's somewhere. Basically, there was an event earlier this year, if you follow Marvel Comics, that was called Ultimate Invasion. That's been leading up to this, the return of the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate Universe is, of course, where Miles Morales comes from. But this is a different version of the Ultimate Universe. It is a new Earth.
Earth 6160.
Earth 6160, and this is basically an Earth where the Maker from the old Ultimates universe escaped. I guess only two characters escaped the Ultimates universe, Miles Morales and the Maker.
Fun.
And the Maker went to another universe, and the whole idea with this universe is the Maker has tried to make sure that none of the superheroes exist. He has tried, his idea is that the superheroes destroyed the universe.
Yeah.
And so he is going to keep the universe safe by not letting the superheroes happen.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we saw in Ultimate Invasion is the Maker stops Peter Parker from being bitten by the radioactive spider. But one of the first series in the new Ultimate Universe is Ultimate Spider-Man.
Ooh.
So what's happening is it's got to be a completely new origin for Peter Parker.
We've got Ultimate Spider-Man. We've got Ultimate Black Panther.
Yep.
And we've got Ultimate X-Men.
Yeah. Now, Ultimate Black Panther
so far
is going to be about T'Challa coming out of Wakanda, which is still hidden, to stop Moon Knight, who is taking over all of Africa.
Fascinating.
And his job is to defend Africa from Moon Knight.
How interesting.
Who is, I don't think calls himself Moon Knight in this universe. He's just the aspect of Khonshu.
Yeah.
But I think he's also the aspect of Ra, which means he also has like the other powers. It's very interesting. And it's all like the creative teams are very good. The Ultimate X-Men is very interesting because it's by Peach Momoko.
Yeah.
And she wants to do the X-Men as tied to nature and magic.
I do love nature and magic.
So that's going to be like a very interesting, because it's genetic, right? It's not science. It's not anything that like anything else from the Marvel universe. So it's like, well, if it's genetic, that means it's natural. And so her idea is that they are more connected to nature and magic because of their genetic mutations.
That's very fun. I also noticed there were 2 writers on like all of the other covers except for the X-Men one. Very interesting.
She's doing it all.
I'm excited.
Doing it all, baby.
I love it. Do you do like a digital subscription for comics?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I've never gotten into reading comics digitally, except for like the one, like, oh, I'm looking for this very specific issue. And I'd like to get into like keeping up with comics through that, you know?
I had to because I think you remember when I was moving
I remember when you had to get rid of a bunch of volumes.
Yeah, I was like moving out of my last place and I was going down the local comic shop and like buying all my comics every week. And it's like, they start taking up a lot of space, and you don't want, and you kind of want to keep them. And I like physical comics because I like to flip through books of art and like have the art in front of me and not on a screen. Like I experience it differently that way. But it's so much easier just to read comics on your computer or your iPad.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
I love physical, tangible media to read. I love physical books for that reason. But I decorate my house with books. Books are something that I really like aesthetically on a shelf.
Yes.
I really, really enjoy this, like, oh, the best way to like get to know me is to walk into my house and look at my bookshelf. And comics, you can't display in that way unless you're putting them like flat on a wall, or you've got like the thick volumes that have like the hard covers.
Yeah.
Individual issue comics always look like trash on a shelf.
Yeah, and they just go in a long box.
Yeah.
And it's just a cardboard box full of stuff in your closet or on your shelves. And yeah, I get it. I'm also very John Waters in that way, where it's like if I walk into your house and I don't see books, I'm like, what are you about? Like, what are you about?
Ted Swan Adam said, nowadays I mostly read webtoons. Love webtoons.
Webtoons are great.
Good on phones. Regular comics are good on tables. I agree.
You ever read the Bat Family on Webtoon?
No.
Ooh, you'd love it.
The only thing I read on webtoons was Lore Olympus. Naturally.
Check out Bat Family. You'll really enjoy it.
Ooh,
It's all of
fun.
Bruce's kids. Just doing Bruce's kids things.
I did hear about it, but I didn't read it.
It's great. So yeah, I'm excited. The Ultimates were it was such a huge deal when they happened.
Yeah.
And so much of the MCU is based on the groundwork of the Ultimates versions of these characters.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to think about them coming back. I can't imagine it will be as big a deal as the original one was.
Right.
But it'll be fun to see in a way of like,
Why don't you think it'll be as fun? Why not? What reason?
No. I don't think it's no. I think it will be as fun.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be as big.
Okay.
I don't think it will be as culturally relevant as the in comic books as the original Ultimates was. Because the original Ultimates was the first time that Marvel decided to deal with the fact they were like, hey, we get it. You want to see these characters starting off again. You want to see them in their classic forms, but our fan base is divided in half because there are people who've been reading these comics for 30, 40 years. I mean, Spider-Man had hit like,
new.
yeah, their Spider-Man had just hit like 40th, 50th anniversary when the Ultimates came out. And so it was like, do you want teenage Peter Parker? Here he is.
Yeah.
And we're going to retell that story updated so people aren't saying things like groovy.
Yeah, sure. Comes back around.
You know? Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I think this will be interesting, but they're definitely taking a different tack with it this time as well, more of an Elseworlds sort of tack, like a DC thing.
Yeah.
Because this isn't just retelling. This isn't just, oh, do you want Peter Parker as a teenager? This is a completely new origin story for these characters.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. I'm excited about it.
Me too. Talking about some other Comic-Con stuff.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
I want to talk about something else coming back that's a very big deal in this room. And that is Audible's doing one of their audio series. And this time it's Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So I think we did talk about this, right? We did talk about this a couple weeks ago when it got announced.
We
initially.
mentioned that they were doing something.
Yeah, we mentioned some aspects of it. We're so excited about it. I am a huge Buffy fan. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is my favorite show of all time. Fuck Joss Whedon. All things can be true.
Yes.
Joss Whedon is not in any way involved in this new audio drama, which we are very excited about.
And do you know the biggest way you could tell Joss Whedon is not involved in this?
Because of the cast that came back?
Because of the cast and because of who a big character is. So this is set. According to the description of the series, this is set about a dozen years after the series finale of the TV show.
Yep.
All of the Slayers have been activated. There are Slayers running around.
As you would know if you got to the end of the series.
The first half of this is of the show starts off being told by Spike, who is partnered up with a Slayer. And the Slayer,
a new Slayer. I love Spike so much.
I know you do.
I was so excited to hear that.
Have you unpacked that yet with your therapist?
I don't think I need to.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what about that.
No,
you would say.
No, no. You know what? I was thinking about somebody else. Somebody else.
Thank you.
It wasn't you.
He's very smoochable. Except for the one episode, which is a non-canon event.
That did not happen.
It didn't happen. Joss Whedon's just a piece of shit and was like, we should probably put this in the show at some point. Not canon.
But another reason why Joss Whedon is a piece of shit is because of the way that he treated
Charisma Carpenter. He treated Charisma Carpenter like trash. Charisma Carpenter has put out a lengthy statement on what she experienced. It took a long time for her to come forward about it, of talking about the ways that he was hypercritical and horrible to her, the terrible things that he did to her character over and over and over and over and over again.
Unceremoniously wrote her off a show because she became pregnant, and he did not like that because she would not be hot.
Correct, in his eyes. He was a disgusting and terrible man, and this series is making a point to try and do some justice to her character, Cordelia.
That's right. So the deal in this show is that Anya, our favorite wacky demon.
Also one of my favorite characters. I would say top 3.
Anya's very good.
Yeah.
Anya uses her magic for whatever reason, it's unexplained right now, to bring like an ultimate Slayer in from another universe, another timeline where there is still only one Slayer and there's only ever been one Slayer at a time. And that ultimate Slayer is Cordelia Chase from another Earth.
So cool.
And she has no idea who Buffy is. Like people keep mentioning Buffy and she's like, who the hell is Buffy? What is going on? I have always been the Slayer and I kick ass.
I'm so excited for that. I think that is absolutely excellent. Alex, would you look up for me? I'm just trying to remember the actress who plays Tara, who is writing this.
Oh,
who wrote
yeah.
this. I'm blanking on her name right now, and I know chat will get it. Benson.
Amber Benson.
Amber Benson. Was I right? Did we get it? Mm-hmm. I think we got it.
Yeah, we got it.
Amber Benson. Amber Benson is like writing and directing this. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so rad. Amber Benson has always been somebody since Buffy who has just loved the world and the universe and the show so much and was such an interesting contribution. I mean, hey, their on-screen kiss was the first cable television on-screen kiss between two women.
Yeah.
It was the first, I think scripted kiss between two women.
Yeah, I think network, not cable, right?
Yeah, network. It was the first network lesbian kiss on television.
Yeah, it was a huge deal.
Women loving women.
It was a huge deal.
It was a huge fucking deal at the time.
And it's one of those things where you can tell that if there were so many brilliant and creative people involved with Buffy, and the way a normal television series works is as the series goes on, the people who are that dedicated and that creative get to write a few episodes, get to direct a few episodes, get called up to do that sort of thing, right? We see it all the time where it's like, oh, I play a character on this CW show, and now 3 seasons later, I direct half the episodes because that's just something that I want to do.
Right.
And everybody here is like so collaborative. Joss Whedon was like, I'm Joss
so
Whedon.
creative.
Everybody's so creative. Joss Whedon's like, I'm Joss Whedon. I'm Joss Whedon. You're girl.
Ew.
Yeah.
Ew,
Yeah.
not girl.
Ew, girl.
I'm so freaking excited about this. People are asking, is it a TV show or what? So this is an audio drama, which I also think is really, really fun because obviously it's been a long time since Buffy the Vampire Slayer ended. So all of these performers are a lot older than their characters were when we left off or where we would be looking to pick up. So with that
Richard
in mind,
Marsters no longer looks...
James
James
Marsters.
Marsters no longer looks like a forever 21... Not the store, but the age. An always 21 British punk. He doesn't look like that anymore.
he does not. And sometimes he is mysteriously bleeding in interviews and nobody will acknowledge
No one
why.
will acknowledge it.
Every time he comes up, I have to mention it. There is
was
an interview
so strange.
with eCanada. I know I've talked about it on the show multiple
We
times
watched
now.
it on the show.
We
It's-
watched it on the show. I know that we
bonkers.
did. There was an interview with him at eCanada, with eCanada from a convention that he was doing. It was like a Canadian Comic-Con or something like that, where he is in a hotel room on a Zoom call, and for some reason his forehead is bleeding, and they left it in. And here's the thing: shit happens. I pick at my skin. You could be bleeding. There's no shame in something going on. My question is: you edited this. You had someone on a Zoom call. Why didn't the host say, "Hey, James Marsters, you're bleeding"? Why don't we take that question again? They just let him be bleeding. I don't understand. Thank you. I keep sitting up because my close-up's a little high. I'm a little short. It's just, why didn't anyone tell him he bleeding? And then mysteriously, like 2 cuts later, he is no longer bleeding. But it does look like he got into a fist fight like right before the show happened.
Yeah, James Marsters gave an interview where it looks like when your cat comes in at the end of the day and your cat's like, what? Your cat's like, what? Say it. What? Say it.
No outside cats for me. Absolutely not. Anyways, this audio drama looks absolutely phenomenal. I'm so excited about it. We introduce a new Slayer, which is an entirely new performer to the cast. Other than that, it's entirely a returning cast of people that were part of it.
Audible's done a lot of great stuff.
We've got Spike, Anya, Tara,
Yep.
Drusilla.
Yep. Oh, Drusilla's the big bad.
Was there anyone else returning other than Cordelia?
I don't believe so.
I think that's the main cast that is coming back for it.
And you never know who will come back for like a line or two.
Oh, yeah.
But there's some like, they've done some good stuff on Audible. The Batman stuff was really good, and they picked interesting cast members for the Batman stuff.
I
and
agree. I think this is really, really cool, and I think it's a good opportunity to give a little bit of justice for the cast, honestly.
Yeah.
They built something that like Joss Whedon shouldn't be allowed to ruin.
Yes. 100%.
They get one that's theirs.
100%.
One for them.
Some other stuff that happened at New York Comic Con, Crunchyroll had their panel, and they talked about, number one, they're doing like a 24-hour free anime live streaming channel. So it's like you don't get to pick what you're watching,
Sure.
but it's just like they're
We've
just
heard
gonna
of the
do,
concept before. It sounds familiar. What is that?
It's like you don't get to pick what you watch, and
Okay.
but the things that you want to watch are on at certain times of the day.
Okay, 24 hours a day. It's always available though?
Yeah. But it's like you don't pick what it is. And like you watch it, and then like every day, if you show up at like 5, the same thing is on.
Did Crunchyroll just invent cable television?
Yes.
How exciting.
Evolution will always turn us into crabs. Rich people will always invent public transit.
Yeah.
And Crunchyroll will create television.
See, we both almost...
Carcinization. Carcinization is when
that right?
everything turns. Yeah, because cancer is the crab.
I know it's something.
Carcinization.
All right.
But one of the other things that they showed off was the trailer for something I've been waiting for, Kaiju number 8
Yeah.
from Toho Animation. We'll watch this without audio as well. This is a show about a world full of kaiju. And
In a world.
And
kaiju.
the main character works on the kaiju cleanup detail. So after there's a big kaiju battle, he's part of the team that goes in and like, we got to clean up all the debris and like, it's like crime scene cleanup.
Yeah.
And he's always wanted to be on the anti-kaiju team.
Oh.
But he keeps failing the test. His best friend is like the hero of the city, part of the anti-kaiju team. And what happens is this guy accidentally swallows a little bit of kaiju. The main character accidentally swallows a little bit of kaiju, and he has the ability to turn himself into kaiju number 8.
Oh, that's cool.
So he fights other kaiju, and he still wants to be on the anti-kaiju team, and he doesn't want to let anybody know that he's a kaiju.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's very cute.
It's really good. It's Production IG, which is one of my favorite studios right now. It's going to be a good show.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Was that everything from New York Comic Con that mattered? Probably.
Probably. There's probably other stuff, and you can see it somewhere else. You can see it somewhere else. How about that?
Well then, let's continue a little bit back into video game news then.
Get absolutely wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about some video games.
Let's talk about it. This is pretty big video game news. Minecraft, with its next big collab, just announced Star Wars Path of the Jedi DLC.
Ooh.
They say with your lightsaber in hand, it is time to see the galaxy. Play as a Jedi Knight as you battle creatures, duel other Jedi, and embark on a special mission with Yoda to an uncharted planet coming November 7th.
Wow, look at that.
I'm so into it. I love when a new thing pops up that gives me an excuse to go back to playing Minecraft. Look at the Jedi Council there.
Look at them.
The blocky little Jedi Council.
Little
All the
Mace
square
Windu.
planets. Square planets, Anthony.
I know.
Oh, come on.
Oh, there's our boy.
Look at this. It's so silly and ridiculous. Like, Dooku looks so silly there.
Yeah.
I loved it.
There was a whole big Minecraft event yesterday. Hey, let's go to our Minecraft correspondent, Alex. Alex, you're a youth. What did Minecraft announce yesterday?
So we have Minecraft, I think it's 1.21 that's coming up. We've got some sneak peeks at that. We've also have the result of the mob vote, which is very exciting. The armadillo is coming to Minecraft.
First of all, congrats to all Armadillo
love it.
fans.
Which is also great because the armadillo comes with the ability to craft wolf armor. So you get armadillo shells and then you can put armor on your little dog.
Oh, that's very cute. That's very cute.
I love it, actually.
There's also a new block called the Crafter, I think, which is automated crafting in vanilla Minecraft. So you will actually have the ability to set up recipes and then put ingredients in and
that's
automatically
huge.
craft them.
They
Which is
needed that for a
huge
while.
like
They needed that for a while.
redstone creators.
Oh my
it's gonna be
God,
massive.
yeah. Oh, I see this, where it's just like making a bunch of something then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's
a new
good.
It's like in
mob.
Tears of the Kingdom when it's like, oh, I've made a car once. I will never need to make this car again.
Yeah.
As long as I have the stuff, I can say, do car now.
A new hostile mob called the Breeze, which is going to be found in something called trial chambers. So there are these new spawner blocks that have been introduced, as well as these chambers where you just like go in, new special loot, and the spawners change based on the number of players that are on the server. So if you go in with one player, there's a certain number of mobs, but if you go in with like 2 or 3, there's more mobs. So
Oh my gosh, look at the look on Saige's face right now.
The breeze looks fun.
The breeze does look fun.
I'm into it. Anthony, have you ever played Minecraft?
Yeah, of course. Of course I've played Minecraft.
Yeah?
Yeah. I never got super into Minecraft.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing that you know about me.
Yes, I do. I know where this is going.
Hey, games that are all crafting and survival. I love that you all love them.
Yeah.
Mazel tov. Enjoy your game that's all entirely crafting and
Not for you.
survival. And endless. Essentially endless.
Yes.
I love that for you.
Well, it's
Please
not
enjoy.
endless. There's an ender dragon.
There's an ender dragon, and then you go back and you keep
has the word
playing.
end in it.
You keep playing.
Well, yeah, but you did it.
Doesn't end. It's fine. It's good, and I can play them a little bit, but they never become like my main focus. And I always find them interesting. And I'm like, oh, I'll build a little something, but I love it. I don't know. It was just never my thing.
Love to build, love to survive. It's the exact opposite of how I exist in this world. Hate to build, hate to survive.
Yeah, I just like to be a cozy little guy.
I love these kind of games. And you also know that there's like a management level that I really enjoy to it. I
Yes.
love to manage. So Minecraft definitely hits that for me. And Minecraft came out when I was, I want to say like 16
Okay.
at the time. And
So I was 47.
and I didn't have a gaming PC until I started streaming. And it wasn't on consoles yet, but it was one of the few games that you could play that they released for OS X.
That's right.
So it was on Apple OS and I could play it on my like old Apple laptop. And it was like the only game I could play. I had an Xbox and that, and it was like everything to me that I could like take it with me on my laptop. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the
I
reasons.
never had a gaming laptop.
That's one of the reasons it became so popular is because it was so easy to run
Yeah.
on so many different systems and lower end systems too. Like if you turn down the chunks in your world, you could
Right.
you could play Minecraft on anything.
Yeah.
And so it became like extremely popular because of that.
I get very excited every time there's one of these new big updates to it. And I usually jump back in for a little bit, but then I get back in and I'm just like, I kind of just I'm not a mods person for Minecraft. I love to just start over a vanilla Minecraft survival world. And that might be like a little bit of blasphemy to the Minecraft community, but like I love to simply start from the very beginning again and just make my little base.
Just make a little
Mind
base.
my little craft.
Make a little base. Start with that little dirt hut
Yeah.
at the first night while the creepers are knocking,
I love it.
and just build from there.
I love it.
You know me, I like looking at when people install 100,000 mods and build something and they're like, this is architectural visualization
Yeah.
in Minecraft.
And I don't do any of that.
I love that shit.
I do not build impressive structures. I never will, never have, and I never will. I have no interest. I want to make a nice little survival, a nice little life for me and the many pets I acquire. That's all.
That's it.
That's all I desire.
That's it. But for people who do like to mod, there's a new Baldur's Gate 3 mod that just released.
There is a new Baldur's Gate 3 mod that just released. In case the options that you were given, in case your elf, half elf, your tiefling, your half orc options just weren't doing it for you, in case a halfling and a gnome didn't quite commit to the little guy you want to be, you could be a goblin now.
Honestly, it was missing.
You want to be a gobbo?
Honestly, it was missing because the little gobbies are such an important part of the story.
They are.
And why no gobby?
Well, there's no playable race of a goblin in D&D 5e
I don't
as
care.
a base, and this is an official, obviously,
I don't care. Why no gobby?
D&D property.
Hey, 5e, why no gobby? Make gobby now.
Yeah.
Gobby now, please.
Yeah.
Gobby me gobby now.
Yeah. I would say in general, I think that because I went to build another character recently, I was doing a stream on another channel and we were doing character creation. And I did feel like the player options for like lineage are probably the most lacking thing in Baldur's Gate. The character customization once you get in is great.
Yeah.
But there's actually, in comparison to building a D&D character, way less options, which like we know because also D&D is a very expanded universe and
Yeah.
you get that like outside of the player's handbook, you have a million additional things that are adding to what you can do when you're scrolling in D&D Beyond.
Yeah.
But I really hope that they do add more.
I think if they do any official content for it, I
They
think it
will,
I think it
right?
will come with that.
They will, right?
I'm sure.
Like, if
I do hate to actually, you guys.
Oh, let's go.
There is a 5e goblin, and it's
is
in
it playable race that you can just select?
it's in Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. As a character build.
Yes, and there's also a I think it's in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything too, which allows goblins to rearrange their ability scores.
Nice.
And Monster of the Multiverse updates the goblins' traits. So
There we
now,
go.
All right. Thank you very much.
Gobby
Yeah.
me now, please.
Kodoroku said, do you not remember Not the Brave from Critical Role, famously a Gobby? No, I've not watched it. We love our friends at Critical Role. That's so much content.
But this Gobby right here in this mod adds the obviously character creation option, but it has custom faces created for the goblins. So you do still get to pick face types
Fun,
and things.
okay.
And according to comments on the Nexus, the goblins do play nice with the vanilla game's armor sets too. So all the armor sets work on the goblin.
Amazing.
They get the pre-existing Fey ancestry and dark vision bonuses. And the modder has also implemented 2 special goblin abilities from 5e.
All right.
Yeah. Nimble Escape.
Yeah.
And so that's your, it's basically like the light version of Cunning Action.
Okay.
And it just says Nimble Escape and then it doesn't list the other one.
Okay. Here's my question, and this is a question probably for Alex.
Oh, Whispers of the Fae.
The playable races in Baldur's Gate 3, are those all PHB? Because I am on D&D Beyond, it's everything together. So I rarely am thinking about like what is separated by what book.
Yeah.
I feel like
I believe they're all PHB.
I think they are all
Yes.
PHB. It gives you a lot of opportunity to be like, oh, okay, we're doing a Volo's Guide expansion. We're
I will
doing
say
this.
that like, you have a half orc, I think, in Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
The actual orc is not found in PHB. It's found
Okay.
in
All right.
I mean, adding the Volo stuff.
Oh, Gith as well.
Gith, yeah.
Yeah.
Adding the Volo stuff because you run into Volo periodically throughout the game.
Yeah.
Also would be like a no-brainer.
Yeah. Be very fun.
It'd be very fun.
I hope that that's the future. I hope this is one of those games that just keeps getting updated for a long time because Lord knows we're not getting another one anytime soon. It took them a whole long time to make a big Baldur's Gate. It's a big game,
It's a big game.
but I would love to see that. I mean, especially as we move into this new like 1D&D, larger expansions for it. We're getting all of these wonderful new books that are releasing constantly. Truly and honestly.
Truly and honestly.
Give me a little more in Baldur's Gate. Give me a
Yeah.
reason to make another character.
I bet
Because I
they
went in
will.
and I was like, I don't want to make anything more than a tiefling. I already made a tiefling.
Yeah,
None of those are more appealing to me than a tiefling.
that's the one.
I would just make another tiefling.
Yeah.
Love a tiefling.
I mean, I'd love to be a burb.
I do. We should get some Aarakocra.
We should get Aarakocra in there for sure.
A
My
Kenku,
favorite
maybe.
are Kenku.
Kenku.
Love a
Yeah.
Kenku.
I bet they would do a Kenku before they get an Aarakocra.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Anthony.
Aarakocra erasure. Wow.
All Aarakocras are monks, according to everybody that's ever played an Aarakocra on this channel.
It just works. It just works well. It just works so well. That's what they're made for. Hey,
What up?
what else is going on?
Excellent question, Anthony. I don't know if you saw this news because it came in this morning. As a fan of the Analog Pocket, did you see this?
I knew the announcement was happening today. They've been very tight-lipped about what the announcement was going to be. Analog, of course, is the company that makes FPGA classic game systems. So they've made a Genesis, they've made a Super Nintendo, they've made a Neo Geo, and what it is it's FPGA hardware that plays your original cartridges, and then somebody who doesn't work for Analog also jailbreaks it so you can play ROMs.
Yeah.
I have the Analog Pocket, which is their Game Boy Advance player. And they announced something new this morning.
That is the Analog 3D. There's not a lot about it yet. We have the future is here, 64 bits of pleasure, wireless Bluetooth and 2.4G, 4 original style controller ports, completely engineered FPGA, I can read, analog OS, no emulation.
So that's an N64. They're making an N64. They're obviously going to work with 8-bit DOE to make a controller because they always do.
Interesting to call it the Analog 3D. And I get it because we were getting into those like three-dimensional games, your Mario 64, revolutionizing all of that. But when you call it an Analog 3D, you're
Yeah.
like, hold on, what? I mean, you can't call it probably an Analog 64.
No.
Nintendo's would get you for that.
They call it, I think they call their Genesis is called the Mega SG.
Yeah.
Right? They get like as close to it as they can. I think it's very interesting.
I love the N64.
One of the things that's cool about analog hardware is, number one, because it's an FPGA, it essentially is, it's not one-to-one perfectly with old hardware, but it's closer than you can get through software emulation.
Yeah.
But the other thing that analog does that's very interesting is they add display modes. And display modes are sort of like, they're like shaders or filters that you can add in something like RetroArch or something like that, but they're extremely good.
Yeah.
So when they add things like scan lines and CRT filters and effects, it looks damn realistic.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty interesting. Here's what I'm going to say about this. I think it's a great time to release it. I think it's wonderful. Don't expect to pay less than $500
Oh, no.
for this thing.
Analog's expensive.
But the N64 is like my least favorite system.
Is it really?
I think it's a garbage system. I think it has some revolutionary...
Garbage system?
Yeah, I think it has some revolutionary video games. I think we've talked about this before. it was really weirdly designed. It has so much fucking throwaway like third-party shovelware on it. Like a bad library with some of the...
A bad library?
Yeah. If you look at...
I draw the line at a bad library.
It has a bad library.
I'll let you criticize the controller.
Yeah.
I'll let you criticize a lot of
I
things.
actually don't mind the controller. I think the controller was...
Anthony, jump off a cliff.
I think the controller was unduly maligned.
Run into the ocean, Anthony, a bad library on
Look,
the N64.
Some of the best games, some of the most influential games of all time came on the N64. There are like 7 of them, and then there's the rest of the N64 library. That's true.
I disagree.
It had everything looked blurry and weird. Everything ran at 20 frames a second. Everything, it was just, the sound was muddy. It was not a great system. It just wasn't. It just wasn't a good system. The GameCube fucking slapped. The Super Nintendo fucking slapped. The N64, a lot of forward-thinking ideas.
One of my favorite consoles.
Sure. A lot of people's favorite console. You're wrong.
GameCube is my favorite console, to be clear. It's not the N64. But, Alex, will you pull up a list for me?
Yeah, pull up a list of all the N64 games.
Of the biggest games on N64. And let's talk about the list.
Okay. First of all, before you bring that list up, Alex, name 10 N64 games that are great.
Did you, a white straight man,
Yes.
just point at me and say, name 10 N64 games? You're fired.
Because we're talking about the quality of the library,
Yeah,
right?
you're fired.
We're doing it. Let's do it
Yeah,
if we're
you're
doing
fired.
it. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can't do that.
All right, but can you name them?
Do you see what you're doing?
Yeah.
Because you sound like an ass.
Yeah.
Don't sound like an ass.
But you're the one that brought this up. And
I
then you asked to
understand.
bring the list up.
I understand. We're pulling up a list of the best games on the N64, and we're going to look through the list
This is
together.
entrapment.
No, it's not. No, it's literally not. You are incorrect. You're the one doing it. You did this to yourself. We're pulling up a list to look at together. How is a looking at a list together entrapment? Being like, no, name 10 games is entrapment.
I can name, let me see. I think I can name 5 good N64 games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be Mario 64, obviously. It's going to be Ocarina of Time. It's going to be Majora's Mask. It's going to be...
You've got nothing else. You can include games released in
Smash
Japan,
Brothers.
too.
Smash Brothers. Smash Brothers.
Yep.
It's going to be... Banjo? Maybe Banjo?
I'm not helping you with this.
Maybe Banjo?
Uh-huh. That's it? GoldenEye?
Oh, GoldenEye. Oh, GoldenEye and Mischief Makers.
Yeah?
I'd say GoldenEye and Mischief Makers. But I don't like Banjo.
Mario Kart 64?
Mario Kart 64. There you go.
That's so far 8 great games.
That's 8 great games that taste great together.
I would say also Mortal Kombat 3, stellar game.
That's not like an N64 game. And that's not the best version of Mortal Kombat 3.
Big fan of it on the N64. Big fan.
Well, is that the one you had when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you're a big fan of that
I think
one.
it's a fun game. I think it's a fun game on the N64.
Mortal Kombat 3 is a fun game, but that wasn't the best version of Mortal Kombat 3 for home consoles.
Okay. Well, you could factor in the Animal Crossing, the first Animal Crossing game.
Yeah, I think of that as a GameCube game, but yeah.
You could factor in Pokemon Snap.
You could.
You should.
You could.
Pokemon Snap.
All right.
Stadium?
Stadium?
Pokemon Stadium.
Stadium. As great titles. Stadium.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's bananas
I
to me.
100% stand by that.
Stadium is a $140 link cable.
You get out of my fucking
Stadium
face,
is a
man.
$140
You
link
get
cable.
absolutely out of my face. There's a lot of love for Donkey Kong 64 in the chat. Oh, Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron's pretty good, but the GameCube one was better.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Anthony. Thank you, Demo Nacho. Demo Nacho said Stadium was great. It was great.
Stadium was what they gave you because they refused to give you a real 3D Pokemon game. And you kids ate it up.
We loved it.
You
Star
ate it
Fox.
up.
Thank you, fucking Star Fox.
Star Fox 64?
Yeah.
Okay. That's an opinion.
Anthony.
Star Fox 64 is perfectly fine. It's not as revolutionary as Star Fox for the Super Nintendo, and it's not as technically great as Star Fox for the GameCube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it was a generation before the GameCube.
It's fine. I'm just saying there are better versions of Star Fox.
Imagine being like, well, before, on the last console, it was less technically advanced, and on the next console, it was more technically advanced.
No, I'm saying on the last console, it was more technically impressive. I'm saying Star Fox on the N64 was not an impressive game. Star Fox on the Super Nintendo was.
Get out of here.
The N64 is not great.
The N64 has a great library.
Good. Pay Analog $500 for one if you like it so much.
I think it has a great library.
Kiss Analog's $500 N64 if you love it so much.
I have an N64. I don't have to. I have an N64 sitting in my home that I can still play, and I have the cool transparent green one. Thank you very much.
Somebody's saying, here's a hot take, Superman 64.
That's a really hot take.
That's a hot
That's
take.
the hottest take.
That's the hottest take
That's an incredibly
ever.
hot take. I don't know if I can come with you on that one. I love it for you, though. I do love it for you. That's all the show we have time for.
That's all the show we have time for.
What time is it? It's 10:36. We gotta go.
We got to get out of here.
We gotta stop.
Our friendship is over now.
Yeah, it is. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for today's show. Please let us know, what do you think about the N64? I know that this episode was initially about a brand new game, a big brand new game, but your question is about the N64. Great library or trash. Those are your only two options and nothing in between. Let us know.
Remember, there are 400 games for the N64. That's all I'm saying.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. We do the show usually every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we'll see if there's a Wednesday show after this. You can check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/Pixel Circus, and help us keep the lights on. We are an independent production company that run our own little studio, so doing things like that is so helpful, and we appreciate it so very much. Thank you for that. Anthony, when you're not here, where are you?
You can find me everywhere online at Carboni, except for here on Twitch where I'm at Anthony Carboni. We are, of course, in the middle of the Impossible Spider Marathon. I'm trying to finish as many Spider-Man games as possible before Friday when Spider-Man 2 comes out. And today, very exciting, we're getting to what I consider to be actually the first good Spider-Man game, which is Spider-Man for the PlayStation, the original PlayStation. I do like that somebody said, bring in a friendlier guest than Anthony on Wednesday.
Guest?
I've been demoted to guest.
Yeah, you're a guest now.
Saige, what about you?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Sage. And my stream schedule is a little inconsistent right now because we're making some exciting Halloween stuff for the circus. So keep an eye out for that instead. And Alex, where can we find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Alder_Mancy, where I usually talk about things that I'm doing. Mostly right now, I'm here on It's Too Early every morning, but usually you can also find me GMing a 5e D&D horror game called Strange Hungers on Total Party Kiss, and past episodes are on our YouTube.
Woo!